Well, Code Vein's not Meta's bag or his thing, but you know what it is?
Oh, I know what it is.
Divinity 2.
Oh,
Original Sin.
I'd never heard of this game when you said about it earlier, so
It's
learn me
a
something.
sequel to a game that came out in 2014. And starts with a D, so it's 2 weeks in a row.
When did this come out?
As well came out. This came out, so it would have been, I guess, 2 weeks ago now. Taking a week off has delayed my topic.
Yeah. It's been in like open alpha for a while now. It was backstarted in a Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've kickstarted the first and now this one.
I wish I had known about the Kickstarter for this one. I would have backed the crap out of it.
So, Divinity Original Sin 2 by Larian Studios. It's received very well, like reviews and whatnot. GameSpot actually has given this their 14th perfect score.
Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Which, I mean, is not to say it's like a perfect game, but
well, that's what 10 out of 10 means, doesn't it, Mal?
But it is the only one on that list that is like a non-AAA game. That's kind of a niche genre.
What is
and it was
the
like
genre?
crowdfunded, and so it's similar.
D&D.
Like it harkens back, to like the old isometric games, like Baldur's Gate or the original Fallout, or Torment games. But it's not actually isometric in that you can like you have camera control.
Gotcha.
Like it's not built on it's not drawn on, or you're not walking on a drawn picture that looks 3D. I'm at around 50-ish hours in, I think, and judging from what I've read without getting spoiled, I think I'm around halfway.
So you're way farther than me.
Yeah. And I've tried finding everything, which is probably I think I've spent more time than like if you just tried to go through the story.
That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to do everything.
Yeah. So it's 100 years or hundreds of years since the first one, so you don't need to have played. Though if you have played the first one, the final boss of the first area, Brachus Rex plays a big part in the setting of this one.
Yeah.
Lore.
What is the setting like? Is it fantasy? I guess
it's basically it's fairly standard fantasy setting, but it's got some twists. Like the elves can consume body parts to experience the memories of the dead.
Or you could just be dead.
Yeah, you can. They had a stretch goal, which was create an undead race, a playable undead race, and they reached that. So you can play undead. There's also lizard people, which I mean, I guess is more standard now in D&D with the Dragonborn. But
oh man, I want to play Kobold.
Dwarves, humans.
Yeah, humans, dwarves. This game they really listen to their fans and with feedback and whatnot from the first one.
Yeah,
because the first one, like after the first area in the first one, there's like kind of a massive quality drop off, which they kind of fixed in the director's cut a bit. I've heard, but
it's kind of weird because like when you go into the first area in the first game, there's tons of stuff to do. There's a lot to like really adventure about and do, but like once you leave there,
it becomes a lot more linear.
Yeah, very linear, which I mean isn't a bad thing in and of itself.
I can tell you this one has not been like that at all yet.
I am actually kind of glad for that. That means it really gives me a reason to stick around in an area and check it out.
So you can make it's kind of interesting that you can either make a custom character or whatever, just or you can choose from these specific background origins or whatever, which if you don't play any of those that you don't play, you can then have on your party. Like they're basically party members. Me and Meta, I think we both made our own characters.
Yeah, I made my own character.
But I really thought about choosing another one just so I could experience all of them or more of them, because there are 6 NPCs and you can only have 3 on your party at a time or whatever.
You can only your party consists of 4.
Yeah, 4 you and 3 others. But they all seem really cool.
They've all got their own personal quests and storylines. So
yep. But regardless, you are all sorcerers with a U after the O.
Yes.
Because you wield a power known as the Source, which you are being rounded up by a divine order because, using the Source can summon forth monsters from the void.
Which are pretty much Cthulhu-esque.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they're described as that way, but I mean, like it for the first bit, they're all just like bugs.
Yeah.
But they do start to become a bit more different depending later on.
It's kind of interesting because like in the game, to kind of explain things, like the source is a very different like power than just like normal magic and whatnot. Because generally, anybody can use like normal magic. You can use necromancy.
Yeah.
You can use like lightning and fire and whatnot.
I'm trying to remember. It's from the first one. There's like this big wall out in space of source. That's keeping back the void.
Yep.
Which is why when you use it, the void can kind of get through, I think, is the explanation.
Yeah, but then there's
that setting specific metaphysics and whatnot.
Yeah. But then like in this game, there's people who have the access to the source, which is more than that. And that allows them to do some very potent and insane things.
Right. Light spoilers, I guess, for the first area. Like you learn pretty quickly that your first task, all the sorcerers are being rounded up by this divine order dropped on this island because they're supposedly curing them. And your first main task is which is broken into like two parts, is to escape the island. Obviously. And the game gives you a lot of options.
It's insane, like how many different ways you could try to get off that island.
Yeah, well, just because the island is split up into getting past a fort off an island is like the umbrella of the first act, basically.
Yeah.
And I think I found at least 6 or 7 different ways to just get past the fort, which can involve like different side quests all tying into it. And then like you can sneak, you can persuade people, and you can also just go in through the front door and kill people.
Yep. I think there's about 6 ways. I think there's about 6 ways you can actually get out.
Yeah.
That are at least considered to be unique in some shape. Obviously, these ones just bashing out, but you can like go through the side path.
Well, easy. It's the most simple to figure out.
Well, yes, that's why I said simple. Then you've got like you could teleport off through this like kind of you could find like this teleporting ability, and you can actually teleport off to the side to escape. You can go through a cave system. There's a fair number of things you can do.
Yeah, you can talk your way into getting access into a lower section, and then sneak out through some blood gate after fighting a creepy dude.
There's a couple ways to do it.
Yeah,
but the game is really well done. You get generally you've got skills that are essentially broken down into what you want to focus on. You generally have your skills that actually give like abilities, which are broken into a number of different things. Like you've got Hydroist, which is a mixture of both water, ice, and like lightning.
You've got stats similar to D&D.
Yep.
And then you've got skill points, which can go into either like a fighting style, like one-handed or two-handed, or abilities like pyromancy, necromancy, warfare, just attacking with sword abilities.
Yep. And then it's generally each ability has like some passive to it as well. So if like you put points into necromancy, you'll heal like a certain amount of damage that you do, and that increases with every level that you put into it. If you put like a point into polymorph or shapeshifting, I don't remember what it's called, you'll gain like
polymorph.
You get like a +1 attribute just free to spend.
Yeah, just +1 to a stat basically.
Yep.
They also have talents, which are like feats from D&D.
Yep.
I recommend playing either having Pet Pal yourself or taking the NPC with Pet Pal, because it opens up a lot more.
Talking to animals is awesome.
Yeah, Pet Pal lets you talk to animals, which can be entertaining, like a crab that thinks it's an all-powerful sorcerer. Or they will give you hints to puzzles, or even entire side quests that can be given from an animal.
There's even the ability that some of the animals can become like a familiar that you can summon out later on as well.
Yeah. Or at least, I've only found one, so I don't know if there are actually more. But yeah.
I don't know if there's more than the one I know of, but...
my character... actually, specialist. I could turn people into a chicken. I can go a tentacle to attack at range. And then later abilities are like wings, hardened skin, Medusa head. It's all pretty cool. I love it. It's pretty fun.
It's fantastic.
It's-
Your choices, you will have choices and stuff that open up different dialogue options. You can
Oh,
actually
yeah.
do what you create is when you're creating your character, you have these things called tags on you, which will in some shape or form represent a part of you, and they can be simply just as much as what you are, your race, to a certain aspect of, like, say, being a hero or something.
A soldier, a scholar.
Yep. And those open up different options for you. That can actually give you bonuses and whatnot at times, or
Yep.
allow a different set of dialogue options to
That's
open
kind
up.
of neat.
The game really likes it's so the first one they've toned down the story because the first one was kind of comical in a way that didn't really like stick with a lot of people. Like I remember fighting like an undead one-man band in the first one.
Yeah.
This one they've toned that down a bit, and they also love their moral ambiguity. Lots
They
of
do.
shades of gray with
Yes.
ins versus means, individuals versus the entire organization, stuff like that. Who's worthy or good and evil. It's not like I love the old or BioWare games, but they just they color code good or evil.
Yeah.
This
This game
one
doesn't do
yeah.
that.
You have choices and like
There's like the choice. There's no scale system on your
Right.
choices. You're not like trying to always be renegade or paragon. You just have choices, and those choices can create outcomes. You could miss quest lines because you made a choice. You could open quest lines because you made a choice.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be dependent on about what you choose.
your party members, or at least the named ones that you can choose to actually play as, because like later in the game, because I guess if you didn't like if someone dies and you didn't resurrect them, you can just buy nameless party members later. But the actual like NPCs with names and stuff and can have actual motives in the game, and will like if you meet someone, they'll be like, I need to talk to this person first, and you might end up it can cause a lot of things to go wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. And they can be at odds with themselves. Basically, one of the first times I think there's an elf Sybil who's an assassin, and there's a lizard prince, and they both want to talk to this one lizard. But if you let the elf chick, if you let her go talk to him, she kills him on the spot. And the other guy's like, "Damn it! Let was an important shaman type dude, and I needed to talk to him." And yeah, they don't like each other.
Yeah.
But
It's a really wonderful game. Like I want to keep throwing more praise on it, but there's really nothing more else to say. It's really well done. The combat is
Yeah.
turn-based.
Yep.
Should make mention of that. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
an action-based style game. It's turn-based. You have action points that different actions take a certain amount of action points. Your movement will be based not only on like how much armor you're wearing, but if you have any abilities that might increase how far you
Yep.
can move, et cetera, et cetera.
It's actually kind of can be fairly difficult game too.
Yes, it can. And there's a
like-
lot of difficulties to this game.
I've played all sorts of computer RPGs like Baldur's Gate, and Torment, Pillars of Eternity, newer one, Wasteland, and I've never had any real problems. But this one is actually just being on the normal level setting or whatever, Explorer, whatever they call it. Like it can be pretty difficult at times.
There's even a difficulty out there where
I don't know
it's
why.
kind of like there's like a difficulty out there. There's essentially Iron Man. Like you get
Yeah.
one save, that's it. If you die,
I've
you die.
had to reload
Those
a
modes
lot.
are always fun.
Yeah. They also really like their elemental abilities and effects. Like there's plenty of areas you'll end up fighting will have pools of water that you can either freeze or electrify, or poison pools that can then be exploded using
Yeah.
fire.
You've got
Um,
oil that can be
Yeah, and
exploded
plenty
with
of your
fire.
abilities will also leave those behind.
Yep.
So
You can create a lot
there's-
of combinations of cool things.
there's a lot of tactical sense going into the game, and I've even heard people liken it to the original Dragon Age Origins with like how tactical you can play. In this one, you can like split up your party whenever you want, and like get a better vantage, like flank people and whatnot. Take advantage of the terrain, send like your range people high up, and then walk in with your melee people. It's real cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. The quest, the journal system is not the best.
No,
It's not as descriptive as some people would like.
There's times the problem I have with the journals. There's times where like a quest will just be open, but it's like there's nowhere. I'll know, for instance, like I'll know that the quest doesn't go anywhere else. The quest is over.
Yeah,
but it
they
won't
did
mark it as complete or anything.
There were a few that those were bugs and they have fixed it. But if you had already gotten that far in the game, there were a few people that it wouldn't fix that problem.
Yeah.
But since then they have fixed some of that. But also I feel like there's kind of too much to do. Like
There's sometimes
so much
That's what
to
it
do with
sounds
this
like to
game.
me.
There's sometimes too much to do too. Yeah.
I've kind of just gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to do it all in one playthrough, which is fine. Like it's got plenty of replayability
Yeah.
between different party members and just
Different builds, all that
different
stuff.
different builds,
Mess
just
around with
all the side
The
quests, you could
tags
have
and stuff.
different ways you could have gone through a quest or a side quest or main quest or whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of replayability, and I've just had to just kind of focus in on my playing. But I've loved it so much.
I might give it. It sounds cool. I might give it a try whenever.
You
How
really-
much is it right now? Is
I
it
think it's
full
like
retail?
$40.
Yeah, it's probably like
I might
around
wait till
$40
it goes on
'cause
sale or
it's not a
something.
AAA game, and it's on the PC and consoles. The consoles releases might be coming later, actually. now that I think
It's
about
definitely on the PC right now. I don't know if it's on consoles yet.
They reached that stretch goal. I just don't think they're probably out right now.
If it was a stretch goal, it's probably not out yet.
Yeah,
But
they reached a lot of stretch goals. Oh, that's what I forgot to pull open the Kickstarter and that
Go
stuff.
for that.
It's Steam has it for $44.99.
yeah, I'll probably wait till it goes on sale.
Yeah,
But it sounds interesting with the whole very analogous to D&D and
It's
Yeah.
if you like D&D, this is honestly a game I would argue is perfect.
yeah. If
The
you
way
like
tactics
if you
and
like
the
the
environment
older
works.
computer games and even the newer ones,
Yeah.
like it's one of the best of those. Like it's probably one of the best done new ones like that, like Pillars of Eternity and all that, Wasteland 2 and
yeah.
the Shadowrun games. But yeah, they raised $2 million of their asking $500,000. Basically,
Yeah, that's lots of stretch goals met then.
yeah. Oh, that's right. The final stretch goal they reached was Game Master mode. You can build your own game in this, basically.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
almost forgot.
Oh my
yeah, I even
gosh.
read an article of someone who just put their own D&D game into it, and it worked
Nice.
out fairly well.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna try that. Try that out eventually. All right, Meta, what you got for us?